Hey everyone! Today I'd like to show you one of the most popular and maybe one of the most fascinating spots in Japan, the Tokyo National Museum.
This is Japan's oldest and largest museum, and it's home for treasures that span thousands of years, from ancient bones and tools to modern technology and art.
This place is not just about looking at old things. It's about stepping into Japan's history and culture. In this video, I'm going to tell you a bit more about the museum and show you some of its exhibitions. And hopefully, give you a reason to put this place on your Japan travel list. I'm not planning to go into too much detail this time, because I don't want to spoil it for you. So let's take a look around and see what makes this place so special. The Tokyo National Museum is located in Ueno Park, right in the central part of Tokyo. Ueno Park itself is a really popular spot. Here you can find a big pond, peaceful shrines, the Ueno Zoo and a bunch of other museums, like the Ueno Royal Museum, the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum, the National Museum of Nature and Science, and much more. The Tokyo National Museum itself is not just a single building. It's actually a whole complex with 7 different buildings and a big garden. Each building focuses on different themes, so there's always something new to discover here. The entrance to the museum is located near the main gates. Here you can check the museum's opening hours, see what the current special exhibition is, and buy a ticket, which are also available online. The first building we are going to visit is the Honkan, also known as the Japanese Gallery. This is the main building of the museum, and it has 2 floors with 20 rooms plus a big hall and an information desk, a cafe, lounges, and more. The first floor is organized by genre, such as sculpture or ceramics. Among other things, there's also a huge collection of samurai weapons and armor, most of which date back to the 12th and 13th centuries. There are also exhibits of ukiyo-e woodblock prints, and visitors have a chance to make their own ukiyo-e print as a souvenir from the museum. A fun way to take a piece of Japanese art home with you. And speaking of souvenirs, on the first floor there's also a shop where you can buy a variety of items. From traditional crafts to postcards and books about the museum's collections. The second floor presents an overview of Japanese art from prehistory to the 19th century. Here you can see traditional paintings, calligraphy, tea ceremony utensils, kimonos, and variety of different figures. One of the most remarkable items for me here was this emperor's palanquin, which was used by the emperor during the Edo period in the 19th century. Another memorable spot for me in Honkan was a room full of huge Buddhist statues. Each of them is really impressive in its own way, but these 2 especially caught my attention. They represent Buddhist guardian gods and were originally transferred here from Kyoto. And by the way, each item here has its own description, and the great thing is that they are available both in Japanese and in English. Additionally, there are explanations of each historical period, but if you want to dive even deeper, you can also search for information about each item on local devices available in the museum, or simply ask a museum staff member. They are usually happy to help and answer your questions. Next, we are heading to the Heiseikan, also known as a special exhibition building. The first floor has a huge archaeological gallery, showcasing fascinating artifacts from Japan's past. The archaeological gallery is set up in a very clear and easy to follow way. It starts all the way back from the Paleolithic period. For each historical era, there are big posters with explanations, maps, and pictures that make the story of Japan's past more engaging. Right next to the displays, you can see real objects from each period, from stone tools and pottery to bronze bells and Haniba figures. You can even interact with some of them. For example, you can try holding coins that are exact copies of real ancient coins, or ring a bell for a good luck. Walking through those rooms, you can really see how Japanese culture, art, and daily life evolved over thousands of years. On the second floor, Heiseikan hosts temporary exhibitions which change regularly. Probably the most famous archaeological exhibit in Heiseikan is this Jamon figure. It's really ancient, around 3000 years old. You might recognize its shape because images of this statue appear on various items and souvenirs all around the world. Behind the Honkan and Heiseikan, you will find the museum garden and its historic tea houses. The garden has a peaceful pond, several rest areas, and old tea houses that were relocated here from different parts of Japan. These traditional tea houses were originally built in 16th and 17th centuries, so visitors can see firsthand how they looked back in those days. In addition to that, there's also a more modern tea house in the garden, where you can actually sit down and enjoy a cup of tea. On the left side of the Honkan, there's a Heiseikan. This building has been designated an important cultural property because it's a great example of Western-style architecture from the late Meiji period or early 20th century. Unfortunately, it's usually closed to the public except when special exhibitions are held inside. Not far from the Heiseikan, I spotted another impressive architectural monument, the Kuremon, or Black Gate. This was originally the main gate of the Ikeda samurai residence in present-day Marunouchi, central Tokyo. It was built about 300 to 400 years ago, and over the centuries it was moved to several royal residences, before finally being relocated here to the museum grounds. Next to the Black Gate is the Gallery of Horyuji treasures. This building hosts the museum's collection of relics from Horyuji Temple in Nara. Inside, there are over 300 valuable objects, mainly from the 7th and 8th centuries. The strongest impression on me here came from a room full of gilt bronze Buddhist statues. The level of detail is just insane. Another highlight for me were the Gigaku masks, especially this one. They are all carved from different kinds of wood, and it's almost unbelievable that they've survived for 14 centuries. Our last stop is the Toyokan, or Asian Gallery. Rooms here feature art and artifacts from across Asia, including China, Korea, South Asia, Central Asia, India, and even Egypt. The variety of objects is really impressive, and one of the most memorable exhibits is probably the mummy that was donated to the museum by Egyptian government. It's not the mummy of an ancient Egyptian ruler, but it still gives you a fascinating chance to see what a real mummy actually looks like up close. Before we finish, I want to show you my favorite object in the whole museum. You'll probably never guess what it is. In one of the rooms of the Honkan, there's an exhibition of Japanese metalwork from the Heian to the Edo period. And right there you will find this bronze statue of a cat. For me, the posture of this cat is insanely cool. So that's a little taste of what you can discover here at the Tokyo National Museum. Of course, there's so much more that I couldn't show you in one video, so if you ever find yourself in Tokyo, I highly recommend checking it out for yourself. But be prepared to spend here at least half of your day. I hope you will let me know what you like the most in the museum if one day you'll get the chance to visit it. Thanks for joining me on this tour. See you next time!